Okay, so I just got this package in the mail, and it is in here what I'm hoping is going to be my new dash cam for my Hyperscorpion e-bike. Cyclic Fly 12 Sport, brand new one, and the Fly 6 for the rear. So Fly 12 Sport is the front camera, the Fly 6 is the rear camera. Pretty cool. Start with the front here. So the plan is to put this on the front of my Hyperscorpion bike. So I have a dash cam, and there it is. The light and the camera. This little thing opens somehow and reveals USB-C port, a micro SD. I think it's a 64 gig they give you with it. And I guess this is a little waterproof door. There's a screen on this as well. Power button. I think that might be a capture button, like if something happens and you want to capture it. I don't know what that does. All right, let's see. I guess this goes. Accessory, looks like. Accessory bundle. This is the mounting. It's a universal mount for the for like a GoPro. So this goes here like that, and then it's got a screw. What else is in here? There's a charging cable, USB-C to USB 2, I think is what that's called. And then here's a handlebar mount. It mounts right on the handlebar there, and like that. And then a little string, like a lanyard tether, so that you can carry it around with you, I suppose, and not drop it and break it. Okay. Next is the 6. Some other stuff. Let's see how this looks. Okay, camera, light, other weather port on the side, same USB-C and a memory card. All right, and then a universal mount there, power button is there. We'll open this up. Charging cable, USB-C to USB 2, and a Velcro strap with some kind of like sticky, not sticky, but like grippy on there. Lanyard, just like the other one, and another strap. Maybe it's a smaller one and a bigger one, and a couple of adapters for different profiles. So there's a flat, it's kind of an angled one, and then just a regular curved one. And we'll see how these are going to fit on the Hyperscorpion. I really don't know what's going to be the best option. I might end up using a like a pannier mount or something like that. So I'll play with that until I get it right. Okay, so the first order of business, I guess, is going to be to charge them both. This one had a red light here that just turned green when I plugged it in, so it's probably fully charged. And this one, I have a little red light back here, so I'm guessing will turn green when it's fully charged. And so while that's charging, I'll go and download the app from the App Store here. Okay, so to mount the Fly 12 Sport onto the handlebars, I have a couple of options. I've got this handlebar mount, which I don't really know where that could go. that's convenient. Or I could use this universal kind of a GoPro mount, which actually would fit in right here where I normally put my action camera. But I don't really like having my action camera there because it's not very interesting footage. So I've been wearing the action camera like on a chest strap, like I am now, instead. So I think I'll put the Fly 12 here, see how it works out. Okay, so it's got the standard mount. I'm just going to use the one that came with it. And this should go like that and there. Let's see if I can line up this. Oops, missed it all the time. Right. So I've got this turn screw, but it also came with a black Allen wrench screw if you don't want to have that. I'm going to try this for now and see if I want something different. It looks like to me though, it doesn't really sit parallel. It's kind of at an angle. May not be as convenient. Maybe I'll try a different arrangement here. This thing actually flips over like this. And then I could do it like this. Yeah, that feels like it might be the right way to go. It's still not perfectly parallel. Maybe this won't quite work. We'll find out. So ideally, you do something like that, and then you put the camera in here like this, and give it a turn. And then it should just oh, there it goes. Rotates until it clicks. And that's pretty good. But you know, not level here. Maybe there's a better arrangement for this other mount. Can raise it up a little bit until it's like that. It seems to work pretty good. Okay, so now we're level and kind of square. Tighten this down. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's how I do it. And then the HyperScorpion has a USB port right here for your phone charging. I could probably move it over here and just keep this thing plugged in all the time if I really didn't want to remove it to charge it, but I think that looks pretty good. So we'll give that a shot. And then next up, I will move on to the rear camera. Okay, so for the back, I was originally going to try and mount it here with that kind of angled piece of rubber, but it wasn't a little bit kind of loose, not very tight, so I decided instead I would use this kind of a flat profile one. Mount it over here on the left, which seems a little more stable. Let's see how that looks. It's pretty good. Alright, we'll give that a shot. Okay, so the way you turn these on is you hold down this power button and the little light comes on. That's it. So now it's recording. And so with this one, you can use the app to connect to it on the phone. But I actually connected it to my computer with a USB, and there's a desktop app for my computer that I was able to configure it and do all the setup on it. So it's ready to go. Okay, and on the front here, it wouldn't connect to the app that I have on my phone for some reason. I actually put in a support ticket, but I was able to connect it to my computer via the USB cable and configure it with all the settings that I wanted. So the way this one turns on is there's a power button here on the side. And there, now it's on. And it actually has a display here on the back that I can show you. So it says camera only, and I have it set up so that it doesn't have any lights because I already have lights and everything on this. And this So there's this capture button. So if you have an incident, it actually has an automatic incident capture setting, but if you see something you want to capture, you just hit that button right there. And then this other button with the 3 lines right here, that is like a menu button, so you can toggle through. So if I want to put this upside down, I would hold that and it would rotate it. You can format the memory card there, or reset it to factory. And then this is the numbers, and that's it. All right, and so next I think we're just going to give it a shot and see how it performs. Okay, so here's some footage that I captured using the Fly 12 and the Fly 6. I use my video editing software to do this kind of picture-in-a-picture thing, but the Cyclic desktop software says it can do it. I just haven't quite figured out how to do that yet, and I'm still trying to get used to using it. So one of the things I want to notice here is that the front camera, the main image here in the Fly 12, has image stabilization, which is really nice. It's very smooth, and you can even like see license plate numbers if you pause the video on some of these images. And the back camera, the Fly 6, it does not have image stabilization as an option in the settings. And I think that also, in addition to it being mounted to that plastic license plate area, is not helping at all. You can see it's quite shaky. So I think in the future I'm going to probably look to find a better mounting place for it. But other than that, I think it works really great. Okay, so the camera didn't quite work right here, the rear camera, because this is a little bit too flexible, so the vibrations were causing it to have a really shaky video. So I did something crazy and I mounted it right here to the lower part of this shock absorber. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna give it a test right now. And we're on. Okay, I gotta say I was pretty doubtful about mounting the camera back there on the shock absorber, and it actually turned out pretty good. It is obscured by the wheel there, and the volume, the sound of the motor is really loud on the camera, but otherwise, I mean, look how stable that is. So I think it's a good spot. In fact, that area is kind of shaped a little bit like a seat post, which is what this camera was designed to sit on. So I think I might leave it there for a little while. So there it is. Okay, so just to recap here, the Cyclic Fly 12 Sport is mounted here on the front. I'm using my Action Cam mount. It came with my Action Cam. It's got a universal mount that comes in the package. And I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I wasn't able to connect this to the phone app, and they got back to me really quickly when I put in the support ticket, and they said that this is brand new. This one just came out. It was a pre-order, the Cyclic Fly 12 Sport, and so they just needed to add it to the app, and they did add it, and I was able to configure it using the app, and it's really nice. And these cameras, they're basically just dash cams for a bicycle. So they have a looping video where, you know, when it runs out of space, it just starts recording over the previous videos that it was recording. So you don't have to, you can just set them and forget them. Just turn them on and they're ready to go. And then if something happens and you want to record it, you hit this little incident button and it'll lock that video so it won't get overwritten in the future. And then you can just do that whenever you need to. And it has really smart features that you can tell if something happens to your bike, and it'll lock video for you. So it works out really good. And then the rear camera is this Fly 6 Gen 3, and this was just mounted on the back with the included mount here. It's just a Velcro strap and a little plastic twist mount here, and it has a little rubber curved rubber piece that matches up to the profile of like a tube like this, like a seat tube. So it works really good right here, and just fits right on here like that. Okay, and thanks for watching.